Hello chess lovers, I have a fantastic game for you played by Vladimir Kramnik against Garry Kasparov. The game was played in 1994 in Moscow. This was a rapid game and Kramnik started with knight f3, knight f6 by Kasparov, c4, g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4. White is first playing e4, probably preventing black to go for Grunfeld defense. And after d6, only now Kramnik is playing d4, and of course Kasparov goes for his favorite King's Indian defense. Black castles, bishop e2, e5, and d5. Kramnik goes for Petrosian system. Usually after playing d5, white is placing the bishop on g5, pinning the knight and not allowing black to move the knight and go for f5. And when black is playing h6, thus white is weakening, of course, black's king side. We see knight d7, but instead of his usual bishop g5, Kramnik played bishop e3. As this was a rapid game, Kramnik was trying to surprise Kasparov. Knight g4, bishop g5, f6, bishop h4, h5, knight d2, knight h6, f3, knight f7, and now Kramnik, instead of going for kingside castling, he plays queen c2, thinking that castling on the king side could be very dangerous. Bishop h6, and there it goes, castling queen side. c5 by Kasparov and d takes c6. According to Kramnik, it was better to play king b1, keeping the center closed, but instead we see d takes c6, b takes c6, king b1, a5. Well, according to Kramnik, it was better to play knight c5, and then black can bring the knight to e6, play c5, and place the knight on d4 square. But instead we see a5, and now Kramnik is playing knight a4, with the idea of playing c5, and Kasparov plays c5, preventing c5 by white, and the knight retreats back to c3 square, eyeing on d5 square. Bishop e3. This move surprised Kramnik, and actually it looks dubious because after knight d5, bishop d4, white is playing knight b3 and is exchanging the knight with this powerful bishop, which was protecting black king. Bishop b7, knight takes d4, c takes d4, f4. Now this pin on f6 is becoming more and more unpleasant for black, and now Kramnik is trying to break through and break black's pawn chain. Rook b8, rook f1, knight h6, and here comes a very powerful move by Kramnik. c5, going for a pawn sacrifice in order to destroy black's pawn chain. Kasparov captured on d5. Well, if a move like knight takes c5, then white can capture on e5, again using the fact that the pawn on f6 is pinned. If bishop takes d5, then e takes d5. If queen e8, then e takes d6. This is going to be very unpleasant for black. Let's go back. After c5, Kasparov, as I have already mentioned, captured on d5. E takes d5, opening up the queen's diagonal, and knight f5. Now the bishop is under attack, but here Kramnik played another fantastic move. F takes e5, allowing Kasparov to capture on h4. Knight takes h4, e takes d6, sacrificing a piece and in return getting these mighty pawns. Kasparov played knight e5, rook takes d4, knight f5, and now comes another strong move by Kramnik. Can you find his next move? Ready? Well, the rook on d4 is attacked, but of course Kramnik is not going to move it away. He's playing very aggressively. Rook takes f5, going for an exchange sacrifice and weakening black's king side. G takes f5, queen takes f5, king g7, and bishop takes h5. The pawn on h5 also drops. Kasparov played a bad move, rook h8. Well, the strongest move is rook b4. Now white has several options. White can either capture on b4. If a takes b4, then queen e6, and after queen a5, white can give, for example, a perpetual check, ending the game in a draw. Or after rook b4, white can play, for example, queen e4. And if rook takes d4, then queen takes d4. Actually, this position looks very complex. Engines are evaluating the position as equal, but this is going to be a tough fight. Let's go back. After bishop takes h5, as I've already mentioned, Kasparov played rook h8, and now black's position is starting to collapse. Maybe Kasparov missed another fantastic move by Kramnik. Can you find Kramnik's next move? Ready? He went for the second exchange sacrifice. Rook g4 check. King f8, well, if a move like knight takes g4, then black king can easily get checkmated. That's why after rook g4 check, we see king f8. Now comes queen e6, rook b7, c6. There is no way to stop these pawns. And now, seeing that his position is hopeless, Kasparov decided to try his luck and play rook takes b2 check, hoping for a perpetual check. King takes b2, but Kramnik had already calculated everything. King a3, queen c5 check, king a4, queen c2 check, king b5, queen b2 check, king a6. This final king march looks very entertaining. Queen e2 check, king b7. Kasparov played rook h7 check, but here comes d7 and Kasparov resigned. There are so many threats. For example, queen e8 checkmate is the threat right now. What a fantastic game played by Vladimir Kramnik. Your comments and questions please, and thanks for watching. Good luck.